Hey Addicts, welcome back. We're here to talk about Arifureta episode 6, which, we'll be honest up front, we don't really look forward to talking about this episode.
Yeah, it was
so we're going to make this really short, and it's not, anything negative to you guys. It's just like I'm really losing interest in this show fast. But anyway, so to start us off with the, a little bit of a recap, we get to see that this is technically the book, or the start of book 2, even though it skips through half of book 2. And so we get the introduction of Shia and the Halia tribe, and then get into the Beast region and see potentially the next labyrinth, but not the next labyrinth.
I just realized how confusing this episode is if you hadn't read the book too.
Dude, yeah,
what's
it
happening?
is bad because we get, first off, they don't even start it the way that I thought they would. It's a little weird. At first I was like, oh, is this like Shia's like future sight? And then like it'll rewind back and be like, okay. But no, it just jumps right in there. So it has a little bit of a weird start. But then like it's Hajime and you getting out of the labyrinth, meeting Shia, having a weird like it's almost like a choppy like interaction thing of being like, okay, introduction, we don't like you. Oh, fight for no reason. Help her for no reason, and then being like skipping to like all of her backstory, or like not her backstory, but like her thing that she wants them to do, and then them being like, okay, immediately, even though like 3 minutes ago they didn't want to, and then like jumping through like the introduction of like their tribe, the introduction of the other beast people and like how that region operates and how it affects the world. Also like skipping the total point where he runs into the other people from that other kingdom that like totally have a prejudice against the beast people, and then he figures out, oh, I actually find killing really easily. I was kind of worried about killing other people, but nah, it doesn't affect me. That's a huge part of his character that they completely skip over. And then, we just get the like, oh, I love you, Hajime. Even though it's only been like 15 minutes, yeah. Which I know like in the story that's how it goes, but like you took probably like 3 or 4 hours read and condensed it to like 8 minutes, and then you have the whole thing where you introduce characters but you don't know their names, so it's like, oh, the father of Shia, it's like that it's her dad and that he's the leader. That's it. You don't know his name, you don't know his background, so yeah, there's and there's things that are good about the episode, but that's because it's not good things about the episode. It's good things about the story. They just took some of like the most iconic and the best parts of that first part of that book and put it in this episode and then expect people to like it. I don't want to try to sound too negatively because I think those scenes, besides like the quality of the show and like whatever you want to say, they're still good scenes, because they were good in the book. Like, they're never not going to be bad. They're never going to be so poorly executed, I think, that they would be unenjoyable. But it's just the thing of, like, they're not enough to save the episode, Because it jumps around so much. So a lot of those scenes, I will say, I personally do like, I like seeing Hajime, like, training them, even though, like, we don't really see them train. Just a few little montages. I do like the fight or like the 1v1 thing that Shia and Yu does, and then I do like the little interactions that Yu and Shia have together, and then also like just Hajime like not giving a shit about her, that worthless rabbit, at the beginning of the story. But again, overall, I feel like the episode is just really lackluster for me.
Yeah, she is cool. Everything else is kind of like oof. Like even like they show like a bear who gets injured for like half a second, and I was like, isn't that like important later?
Yeah, that's super important. Also, it's supposed to happen in the Beastmen's like capital of like their forest.
Yeah, they never go to the capital.
But it's just in the middle of a random forest in like the show.
It's like, all right.
It's really an episode 1 situation again. So like I was actually kind of hopeful to see Shia and like the introduction, because I thought, okay, well they wanted to bypass the beginning, because as much as it's awesome and great, it does take a while. So it's like, okay, I can kind of sort of understand why they'd want to do that. But in this episode, it's like, his character, like who he is, should be already established. But, they already have that there. So any other introduction should be okay. But I don't know. It just seems to me that no world building whatsoever.
Yeah, and like you were saying, it does feel choppy in some ways, like the conversations and just like, what is this character about? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, why are they making these decisions? I'm so confused.
Yeah, I will say though, I think Shia as like a character in this episode, a little bit different than I thought she would sound, but that's completely fine because that's like different. I think she does a pretty good job, or at least like she's pretty much Shia from the book. So that was, yeah, that was helpful in making the episode good, or help it not to be so bad. But the only other thing I can really say is just like, woohoo, not as much CGI. At least the dinosaurs, or like the two-headed Rex was like, drawn. But I don't know. It's just bad. I don't know.
We'll be here.
We'll be here, but don't be surprised if our enthusiasm continually dwindles to nothing.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, I absolutely love the book series. I love the side story of the book, and if you are interested in the story, which you definitely should be, because I think it's one of the best isekai stories, at least that I've seen. So if you guys are interested about seeing the story, getting into the books, and you haven't already, then I would suggest you go check out our book stuff, because that's where this series really shines.
First of all, it's some old gems from like back in the day when we had a legit setup. And second, they're very good videos. I think they're pretty informative, and they should let you know if you really want to read the books or not.
Yeah, and we go into depth quite a bit, so go check those out if you're still interested. At this point, this episode review is done, so we'll see you guys for the next one, and as always, peace, addicts.
Later.